not what I was for. Um, fast forward, me and that boyfriend ended up skipping school one day, and he ended up getting caught. I didn't, but he did. And it led to basically him hitting me up and telling me that, yo, my mom's gonna come over and tell your mom. So I was just like, hold the phone. What you mean? Like, I should probably go tell my mom. I should probably go tell my mom. She probably deserves to hear it from me than from anyone else. So that's what I went to go do. I had my mom sit down in the living room and I let her know that I was pregnant. She actually knew it. She said, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. She'd been asking me monthly, like if I had gotten my period, and I would lie and just say, yeah, I did. Um, Mind you, my mom was also pregnant at the time. She was also pregnant at the time. After telling her, I just remember her being disappointed. Um, just real disappointed, just hurt, just real hurt. I remember going upstairs to my room and my stepdad came home early and I remember him just wanting to see my belly and feeling my belly and realizing that it's actually pretty far along. Um, it's actually 17 weeks. It was actually 17 weeks. And yeah, um, I remember the next day them telling me that we were going to go to the doctors. We were going to go to the doctors. So that's what we did. Um, in my mind, I thought we were going to the doctors, like, checkup, whatever. I guess their definition of doctor was a little bit different, and we ended up being at an abortion clinic. And I didn't know it because, like, the way that we came in was just real fast. Like, filling out paperwork was fast. I didn't have glasses at the time, so I wasn't really paying attention to the wording of what was going on. It just looked like um, a normal doctor's office. And then, we're go to the ultrasound room and they're doing the ultrasound and I'm like asking to see the ultrasound. He's like not trying to show me the ultrasound. And I'm like, yo, what's up? Like, can I see? He's just like, no, we don't do that here. And I'm looking at my mom like, what you talking about? Like, where are we at? Then she was, showing me to calm down. I remember seeing change. I remember going to another office after that. She said she was gonna talk to me later about it, but I remember putting my pants on and like going to the office room, and it was like two doctors, her, um, and they were just telling me to sign this paperwork, explaining how the 2-day procedure was gonna go. Because I was so far along, it had to be a 2-day procedure. Um, and I just remember looking at my mom like, yo, like, this is not what I want to do. Like, this is not what I want to do. She told me I didn't have a choice. She told me this is what we had to do. I feel like if I have regrets, my biggest regret would probably be not running out of that room. Um, I don't know if I was even allowed to. I don't even, honestly, I haven't even checked in to see if like I had rights then to like to even do that. Probably should do that. Yeah. Uh, I remember after signing the paperwork, because it was a 2-day procedure, they had to put some sort of seaweed in me, I guess, to open up the cervix. Um, Went and sent me back home. And told me to come back the next day. I wasn't allowed to eat after that. Um, and yeah, I just remember, honestly, don't remember even speaking to my mom, speaking to my stepdad. I just remember just being in shock that this was happening, and just wanting to get under my bed, like get under the covers and just be in bed. Um, Next day comes and I just remember, so there was a second seating area for the girls that were going to have the procedure, and I just remember Tyra Banks being on, remember sitting there just like trying to be normal, I guess. Yeah, was irritated that I had to sit there by myself. Like, why couldn't my mom sit there? And then I remember being taken to the operation room. Put a mask over, they said that I would be out in a couple seconds, couple minutes, whatever they said. All I remember is that the doctor also went to the same high school that I went to, so that was like kind of the conversation we were having as I was going out. And yeah, the procedure happened, right? And then I remember waking up. I remember waking up and there was just a bunch of like hospital beds, right? I remember hearing the sounds of crying, commotion, just great. It was like a movie. It's just like a movie. I remember like the moment that I just regained consciousness, or however you say that. I remember like just trying to get out of bed and like just go, and they're like, "Hold on, like no, you gotta stay. We gotta check. Like we gotta, we gotta check you. We gotta do some tests." And yeah, and I'm like, "Where's my mom?" Like like go get my mom. And they're like, "Oh, we'll go get her." And I just remember asking to use the bathroom, and I go into the bathroom and just putting my pants down and just seeing how much blood there was. And she remember crying. She remember sitting in the corner and crying, just crying, crying. Like, I didn't really know God was real back then, but I just felt like God was mad at me. He was disappointed. Like, I just felt like he was so mad at me. Yeah. After that, I remember just going home and, getting on the covers again and just, like, not wanting to eat, not wanting to go back to school. I fell into depression. And I remember telling that ex that had happened. I remember him crying. Cried with him. I remember finally like going back to school and like just being numb, like just being so numb. Um, and I started having thoughts of suicide. Um, wasn't long. I feel like it was like 3 days after I went back to school that I was just like, yeah, I can't do this. Like I can't do this. Remember going to my mom at that point and just letting her know, like, hey, I am no longer the same. Like, there's something wrong with me up here. Like, I need help. And that's not like me to do. I never really been clearly, because, I never told anybody about what happened to me then. Nobody really knew, like, outside of family how my dad was. So it's not like it's never been a thing for me to, like, just be vulnerable like that. So I remember just telling my mom, like, yo, I need help. Like, I need to talk to somebody, I need help. And I remember her just looking at me and just telling me, like, you'll be fine. You'll get over it. Was her exact words. And I just remember, like, nodding my head and just being like, yeah, I ain't never asking for no help again. Like, I ain't asking for no help again. That was stupid. And it was the next night that I decided I was going through different scenarios in my head of how I was going to do it and all that good stuff. And my stepdad is a really big guy. He has a lot of health issues and he has a lot of pills. So I just was like, I'm gonna go downstairs to the cabinet and that's what I did. Anything and everything that was in that cabinet, I took handfuls and I just threw them down. I remember going back to my bed and just laying there and feeling my body. I remember just feeling my body like Like I just started seeing white stuff. I had shortness of breath. I just the pills are working, and I just remember like feeling the need, like, nah, I'm not ready. Like I got scared, and I was just like, I'm not ready. So I remember walking to my mom's room and fainting. I fainted in the hallway, and I'm not really sure how long I was out. It felt like a second, and I got right back up. Well, I didn't really get right back up. I started crawling. I started crawling to a different room for whatever reason. I started crawling to a different room, which had my stepdad's mom. She was in town visiting, and she was in that room. So for whatever reason, I ended up crawling to her room and like letting her know, you need to go get Abram and my mom. Like, I'm dying. Um, Not telling anybody that I had took the pills, because in my mind I was like, yo, if I tell them, like, they're gonna take me to the white room and they're gonna put me in that white jacket, and y'all never gonna hear from me again. So I didn't tell them that I had took those pills. I remember like my mom coming to the room and like, yo, what's wrong? My stepdad, I'm telling my stepdad, like, you gotta carry me, I can't walk. um my mom, I remember telling my mom, like, I'm dying. Like, I remember telling her, like, I love her and stuff like that. And she's like, you're not dying. Like, calm down, relax. Like, we're going to the hospital. Hospital's, like, down the street. Um, so I'm going to the hospital, and they end up doing all these tests and stuff like that. And it all led to basically them saying that I had low potassium. So they didn't find none of the pills that were just taken. They didn't find absolutely anything else, and told me to eat more bananas. So I'm like, and no, nobody could really understand how crazy that was for me, because I'm like, yo, I just took so many pills. Like, how are y'all gonna tell me that I need bananas? Like, that's all I need, So I was like, well, God, like, that's weird. That's really weird. Yeah, that's really weird. Um, After that, I definitely slowed down. I wasn't as bad. Uh, I wasn't as bad. I definitely wanted to have children after that. I remember feeling the desire to just have children after that, and wanting love. Like, I just wanted, to settle down and stuff like that. Yeah, I just remember having to go through all those emotions. Yeah. Um, to this day, I definitely don't think that, I feel like people don't really see like the other side of what happens to you mentally, after abortion, you know. Yeah, I feel like people don't really see that side. Now, after doing research and just growing in God, and just all the stuff that this system does, like, if you really think about it and do your research and see, like, abortion is really, it's really to keep minorities, like, it's really for minorities, or they're trying to cap on us, like, I'm not even gonna get into all that, but I'm just gonna say, yeah, do your research on it. Yes, I definitely don't condone abortion. Um, yeah, I feel like I can't really touch on too much of the other stuff that happened to me prior, because it comes up later in my story, and how I dealt with that. So I'm just gonna end it here. I'm gonna end it here. God has been wanting me to do this for a while. Some of the other things I'm gonna talk about is coming clean to my husband, how I dealt with like the molestation. I told people that it was a stranger that did it. I didn't tell everybody. I just told certain people that I felt comfortable with, just letting them know that it was a stranger that did it and not a cousin. So that's what I definitely told, my boyfriend, which turned into my husband. But later on in our marriage, I ended up coming clean that it was my husband. I'm going to be talking about how my 8-year abusive relationship led to my husband and how we got married in less than a year. Um, I'm going to just be talking about a lot of stuff. So I just hope that y'all tune in. I'm just really telling my story. I'm telling my story because God said so. And I know that the ones that need to hear it and come across it are going to be the ones that this is for. Um, yeah, I really appreciate y'all for watching, for showing love, you know.